Moving through your career, I want to ask you about the 1985 final. Probably still to this day the most recognised final in history. You and Dennis Taylor went down to the final ball of the final frame of the whole match. What are your memories of that match? And looking back now, how do you look back on that match?
Well, with the same proviso that I can't remember what I did last week, I do have more knowledge of that because I've talked about it quite a lot. I've seen footage of it on TV, and I sort of still have a few scars because I lost that one. So the majority of matches when I was the favourite, I did sort of come up trumps, but that one in particular was one that got away. And in that match, I was 8-0 in front against Dennis Taylor. The first player to get to 18 frames won it, and I was 8-0 in front, and he came back. And from 8-0 in front, I didn't have the best time in the final. I felt like I was looking over my shoulder, waiting for Dennis to catch up, and I couldn't do anything about it. I felt like I was a bit out of control. The match was played over 2 days, so I was 8-0 up, and then overnight I was only 9-7 up. So it felt like I'd lost from 8-0 in front. So I woke up that last day, and that was a scramble. You know, it was a day of not really enjoying playing snooker. And sometimes, even in the biggest events in the world, you can still enjoy it and really go, I'd rather be nowhere else. But on that particular day, I think I'd hit my limit of pressure on me, and I sort of crumbled a bit. So it was a race to the finishing line, and it ended up 17-all, and we ended up neither of us being able to really win the last frame in one go. So we scrambled to the finish line, and it got to the black. And I sort of more or less remember the feeling of my final shot where I missed the black. And it's more a feeling than actually remembering the shot for real through my own eyes. But I've seen it so often on television that I sort of feel like I remember it. And I remember my legs being like jelly, really. That's the main thing. I walked to the table to play the shot, and it just didn't feel like it was me. They weren't my legs, and they weren't my arms, and it wasn't my cue. And I had to try and knock this ball in with somebody else's legs standing on the crew. So you know, perhaps it was inevitable I was going to miss it, and then Dennis potted it, and I then had to sort of deal with the sort of for a small amount of time failing to pot the ball under pressure. And that's the one thing that nobody likes to do is to miss under pressure, but it happens.